Hey, we are live on the SideQuest, your weekly journey into the wonderful world of video games. I'm one of the people that will be talking to you about video games, Dolly Demosky. Joining me, as usual, the one, the only, JJ.
The
The.
underscore double underscore J.
How you doing? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing. I
You
am
do?
doing. Yeah. Just
You
keep on
doing?
keeping on, man.
Keep on, keeping on. That's good. That's good. Hopefully the typical Seattle weather isn't getting to you. We were jokingly sharing our weather forecast for the next 10 days, and
Yeah.
JJ's was essentially 56 and partly cloudy,
Yeah,
56 and
it's
overcast
56.
every
Yeah.
day.
56 gray and raining half of it. So, yeah.
Nice,
That's
nice.
when you think of the Pacific Northwest, this is exactly what you think of.
For
Beautiful,
sure.
beautiful spring.
This is
Uh
the spring weather.
well, hey, you know what today is?
What's today?
It's April 30th. Are you not a Metal Gear Solid fan? Do you not know that it's April 30th?
Not enough. Not enough.
It's April 30th, man.
I need
This is when Raiden met Rose, and when the big shell incident happened, and when Solidus was trying to start a new revolution and a new
so
Independence Day. And it's
is that
also when
all
yeah. Is that what?
no, is this all revealed in Metal Gear or Metal
This is
Gear
Metal Gear
2
Solid
Snake's
2.
Revenge? Or
Like
is it
Metal Gear
Metal
Solid
in Snake's
2, like
Revenge, right? The NES
that's
games?
no,
Just
Jesus
kidding.
Christ. How fucking dare you come in here? April
How dare
30th.
you come in here
It's a
talking
meme.
about
It even has the
yes,
Solidus
yes.
Snake asking what day it is and Raiden like April 30th.
I saw some people
Yeah.
tweeting about it.
So it's a holiday. It's a holiday. It's when George Washington took office. And so
Is the
they
whole reason
and so
that
it's the whole reason why Kojima made April 30th such an important day in Metal Gear 4.
exactly. Oh, well, it
Can't believe
is April
15 years
30th.
ago. Can't believe
Yeah.
15 years ago the big shell incident happened. It seems like it was only yesterday.
Unbelievable. I mean, really, yeah. Oh goodness. Well, we're going to talk about some stuff today. We got wonderful things to talk about in on the 30th of April. We'll get into some news first that we regularly do. Then we got a couple games that you have been playing, which I've got to. While you're talking, I'll be searching for these on YouTube and getting the trailers up because that shows you how
Yeah, how prepped you are.
how prepped I am. It's Tuesday. First
April
bit of
30th.
news. Yeah. First bit of news. Oh, shoot. Hit the wrong button. First bit of news that I want to talk about is announced today is the
April 30th.
Xbox Showcase is taking place June 9th.
Yeah.
The annual showcase that takes place every year on that Sunday is taking place again on that Sunday,
Yeah.
June
At
9th.
least we can depend on it. Like there's no like
Yeah.
weird like Nintendo
Yep.
Direct like well, it's usually sometime around the middle of March or whatever. It's just like
Yeah.
no,
Yep.
first
Nope.
Sunday of June you
Yep.
get
Lock it in, as they say.
and like the worst job at trying to create like a high like what could this other thing
Well,
be?
it's followed by something that I don't know what that is.
Who knows what this could be? It could be anything. What kind of weird redacted military nonsense could this possibly be?
Right.
That Microsoft now owns.
It's funny because like a little bit of that goes into we're talking Call of Duty here.
Yeah.
Uh, Microsoft now owns Activision Blizzard, and they want the definitely want to utilize that in all of its glory. And so last year they had the Starfield Direct, and this year they don't really have like a big game to do a direct around. So they're like, you know what? Call of Duty brings eyeballs. So let's make this a Call of Duty direct.
I'll be fascinated to see what they do with this too. Like, because like with Call of Duty, it's like the people that are going to buy it are going to buy it. They're already pumped. They're pumped, and hasn't even been announced yet. Like, do they maybe have something unique about this one that they feel? Maybe, who knows?
I don't know. It's what's interesting is that
maybe they'll announce a Call of Duty TV series to cash in on the popularity of the Fallout TV series.
How are my question is like, how are they going to spend, like, how much time are they going to spend on this thing?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
It's a lot of time to spend on something that we already know.
Yeah, because they don't ever really spend a lot of time ever talking about the campaign of Call of Duty, so it's not like you're gonna fill the void with that. So like that just must be just showing off how it looks. I mean, that's really because like we're kind of at that point now where like the previous gen is way in the rear view mirror now. So like the Call of Duties have always looked pretty good, but like this one should theoretically look fucking killer. Like it's like so
it's
which cycle are we on with Call of Duty these days? Because I've actually given up. I don't like.
I think it's the what is it? It's the Black Ops or Cold War. I think Black Ops Cold War 2 or something. I always forget
what it is. It's like
it's something. It takes place basically. This is the Gulf War. That's what it is. Black Ops Gulf War.
Oh, that's actually a good.
It's the rumored. Yeah.
That's actually I kind of like so like we talking 90s Gulf War.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually a good scenario for like.
I think so.
Yeah, especially as for a single player game. It's kind of untouched. Like the Gulf War is still pretty taboo kind of subject. It's like making Vietnam games. Like they're still like, it gotta be
a
little. But yeah.
What it kind of takes it back to what Call of Duty generally is. It really feels almost like besides the World War II stuff, which we're all burnt out on. This is sort of it's not futuristic. It's just going to rely on dudes with guns and tanks and running around. Like there's no like weird drones that we've had and like weird movement.
I really do wish Advanced Warfare took off because I kind of really enjoyed.
Yeah, I'd like that too.
I kind of really enjoyed Advanced Warfare for what it was trying to do, and I think if they got another swing at it, we might get because like the weird like pseudo space stuff and kind of an excuse to introduce a double jump and a wall jump because of like boosters and stuff.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like Titanfall-ish.
They did some cool shit with it. I don't think the game itself was like the campaign. Like, I don't remember anybody giving a shit about the multiplayer for that one, and the campaign was kind of the best part, and even that was kind of corny, and it starred Kevin Spacey, so you can't really talk about it anymore.
That's true. It's funny because then they also had the Infinite Warfare one, which starred Kit Harington. Remember? But that had it kind of had that interesting sort of mission-based stuff that you could do, where you can kind of hop around at your own pace and take care of extremely repetitive missions, but they were trying things back then. But this feels like the return to
if you remember like in like the mid to late 90s when the PC marketplace is being flooded by just like generic Middle Eastern war shooters. It's just like this is a stopgap Call of Duty.
It really is. After the Modern Warfare 3, the results of that sucker, and how people were lambasting it. But anyways, the other things that are rumored are Gear 6 or 7, whatever the next Gears game is supposedly going to be announced. They've been working on that forever.
Gears Tactics 2.
Gears Tactics 2. Avowed is supposedly going to be a part of this thing.
Silk Song.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. And then probably have another flight simulator stuff.
You have Todd out there talking about Fallout shit. So like you'll see us. You might. we're getting close to just seeing a logo on the screen soon without any information about it.
Okay. And then the Starfield DLC. I'm sure they'll talk about that.
Yeah, because they just they just did a little bit of a dump about the Starfield DLC. So
Speaking of Fallout, they announced like 65 million people have watched. Have watched some of the Fallout TV series, which is an impressive number.
Yeah,
really impressive. Their second biggest launch since.
Like Fallout has always been like super niche in terms of like that is a gamer's game, that it doesn't delve at all outside of the realm of people that play video games, and like not just like casually play video games, but like play video games. So to have it be as big as it was, just because let's be honest, it's because it made the home screen of every smart TV and Hulu, or not Hulu, Roku and shit. Like you booted it up, you opened up Amazon Prime, the Prime Video app, and the Fallout was right there. Why not give it a shot? And because it's it's got a good hook straight from the get-go to make you want to keep watching. It, did a good job. Like
it did a great job, yeah. And it like people, Fallout 76 is now setting records.
Yeah.
Microsoft,
most concurrent players Fallout 76 has ever had. Like,
and Microsoft is, I guess, some of the word that leaked out there was that Microsoft was a little bit PO. They didn't have any Fallout games in development to kind of coincide, at least announcement wise, with some of this stuff. Because obviously season 2 won't arrive until 2020, late 2025, early 2026.
Yeah, probably, and you still won't have a Fallout game to coincide with,
unless you do some weird stuff with that Fallout. Was it Fallout Shelter and other thing? Maybe there's a Fallout Shelter update that we
just absolutely fucking get as many hands on deck as you can to get that Fallout like New Vegas update or something.
Get that out there. Yep. Definitely. Thank you, Lisa. We definitely
we will.
So yeah, great stuff for Fallout, great stuff for Microsoft in terms of what we could be seeing. I mean, I'm sure they'll have a few surprises too. They announced a bunch of games last year, and everything has gone silent since then.
What did they announce? Do you have what they announced last year at this? Because I
remember they had that kind of cool stop motion Southern Tale, the game that was sort of that Southern American, like turn of the century. Like
I absolutely do not remember that.
You don't remember that one? It's that cool. Oh shoot, there's like elements of voodoo in that one. They had like God, there's what other games they had?
Now I'm just going
Fable. You go to SideQuesting.com and you'll see if you find
Avowed, Towerborn, 33 Immortals.
Yeah, which they talked about this week in the indie showcase thing.
High on Life DLC.
Yeah.
Lies of P.
Yeah.
Dune expansion for Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yep. So I'm sure we'll get some interesting stuff. I put my name in to try and win or get passes again to the in-person showcase, which is always fun. That was actually a good time last year. If not, I will weasel my way in. That's just how I roll. Speaking of stuff in the future, there has been something that is starting to get very leaky, and that is Nintendo Switch 2. Further reports out there. By the way, this is a really dope color scheme.
I like that. That's sick.
That can't be real. That
is that custom black that they make that no light can't escape from.
Oh man, Oh, dude, that would be awesome. Fanta black or Fanta. It's a juice drink. Yeah, Fanta. Yeah. Okay, so there's been a lot of the Switch 2 rumors and leaks, and we knew these leaks were going to start happening more frequently as this
as things start going into production, as people start needing to know dimensions of the system to make cases and protectors.
let's get to let's start with that first, because one of the ways that we found out about this is the Dune box.
Yeah. All right, guys, you
explain this for people.
Yeah, there was what was the story was that they got to.
Hey, Stefan.
They got to feel the Switch, but not see it when it came to, or whatever, the Switch 2. So it's just unclear how that works.
Supposedly it was in some type of enclosure.
That's the only, because you're not going to blindfold somebody, because that's it would have to be in it would have to be the Dune box or the nuclear power
Waluigi is in there nipping on your fingers as you're grabbing on this Switch too.
Like Simpsons power plant where you got to stick your hands in those big rubber gloves and feel around. Or as I said, it's like that Halloween thing. It's like, here's a bowl of eyeballs and it's just great. Here's the Switch 2.
Yeah. It's spaghetti. Apparently they had manufacturers, partners feeling the Switch 2 and getting them ready to understand that it's going to be a little bit bigger screen wise and some other stuff.
I'm really
Apparently,
curious. The thing that I'm genuinely most curious about are the Joy-Cons.
so let's get into that right now. Yeah. So
Yeah. And not even
supposedly,
necessarily because of the connection thing that we're going to talk about in a second, but
right.
I got other things
So
I'm curious
yeah.
about.
So let's talk about the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
Supposedly they're magnetic now, which could mean a bunch of things, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the current Switch,
As you hear a lot of people say, magnetic suction, which I do not like
yeah,
that
yeah.
combo.
No, it's likely, and I'm looking around for it right now.
Yeah.
It's likely a magnetic induced connection that
Yeah.
will
That's
probably yes. So the magnetic part is going to keep
Yeah.
these suckers in place. You still have
Yeah.
to slide them on. There
Yeah.
may still be a light rail system.
They
that you're
would
putting
have
it on.
to.
Yeah, but instead of the instead of the kind of the bad bump, there was, if you look at your Joy-Con, there's like a little attachment thing in there, and it's gonna be a
The
monorail
release
system,
button.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the release
Mono
button
means
is.
one and rail means rail.
So perfect. And so monorail. Yeah, I think if some of that can get cleaned up so where it's more of a magnetic and it lines it up better.
I mean, it's gonna be
perfect.
like, I'm assuming it's gonna be a lot like the Legion Go, like their Joy-Con situation. Like that.
Yep.
Um,
And for those that want to know, the other aspect of it is if you have one of these phones and you take it to one of your wireless chargers, it will sort of right itself and kind of lock into place. That's the kind of magnetic I think is also included in this. It will sort of line it up better.
I mean, like it's gonna be basically Nintendo MagSafe.
Yeah, Nintendo MagSafe. Yeah, that's a great point.
But and they were saying
Mario Safe. Yeah.
Yeah. They were saying that it might have like a peripheral that will let you use your previous Joy-Cons on it,
which seems like a very easy thing. We've already, I mean, look,
it would just snap into the rail that's already going to be there for
it'll
the
be
new Joy-Cons.
It'll be these things, just new versions of these that your old Joy-Con can snap into. I think that's, and then that snaps into, it'll be an extension. People relax. All right. It's like the dumb Motion Plus thing that where you have to stick that on.
Yeah.
Or the Franken controller for the 3DS, back in the day. But it's this is the kind of thing that happens all the time.
Do you remember when they did the clip that you could like have the Pro controller and then have the Wii remote with the plastic clip, so you had like this weird.
It was sitting on top of it, for the Wii. Yep.
But I'm actually just most interested in what design differences there are going to be, because I think universally we all agree that the Joy-Cons are not exactly ergonomic and
words like that, ergonomic.
Yeah.
So supposedly some of the additions are the buttons are now metallic or metal. LR and LR, whatever.
LR, it's LR and ZL.
Yeah. So whatever. Those are going to be made of metal, which is interesting because that could also mean that there's a little bit of conductivity built into those potentially. There's also newer buttons on the bottom side that are underneath those.
There's paddles, like so many controllers are adding these days.
Yep. And then another.
They need to be bigger.
At the bottom.
They need to be bigger. They just flat out. I've got pretty small hands. So the Joy-Cons kind of fit pretty good in my hands just by default, but I would still like them to be bigger. At the same time.
It says the new the Switch 2 and the new Joy-Con are larger than the current Switch models. Now, not as large as the Steam Deck, which is good. The Steam Deck is fucking mammoth. It's compatible with the current Switch Pro controllers, which you can use. That's just Bluetooth. So I don't know why people are freaking out about that, but it seems like more of an evolution rather than a revolution, which is fine. I think you don't.
No, that was the Wii.
Yeah. This is going to be called the evolution. Correct.
Yeah.
Some adjustments to the Joy-Con there, which are interesting. A 1080p screen, and it's not necessarily listed here on the Joy-Con talk, but 1080p screen, 8-inch.
With a 4K potential dock was the thing that I read.
4K dock output, which is upscaling. It's upresing.
It's just upscale. Yeah, it's upresing. I'll be interested to see how the docking situation works this time around.
From what things that I've read is that it's supposedly better. Some of the leaks said it's a dock, but it's a better dock because the OLED dock is so finicky. Like the original Switch dock works a lot better than the OLED. I have the OLED Zelda thing, and it doesn't always line up correctly.
There's more wiggle room in it.
Yeah.
But like I hope they design the dock in a more like out of dock friendly way, because the way the dock works now, the power port being on the bottom means you can't charge and kickstand at the same time, which is just a fucking mess unless you get like a special stand that they sold for an extra $20 or like there's like some goofy shit.
Supposedly a new kickstand is a part of this deal. Brand new
I love the Switch OLED's kickstand.
So do I guess this newest one has a little bit of from what I've read, it's got a dampener system, so you can actually sort of adjust it instead of just having the two positions to open and close. So
because that's how the OLED one, it's positional. It's not just
open is the OLED one positional. Oh, okay, all right. So it's more like that then. Okay.
Yeah. It's not just open or close. It is. You can have it. It's just it's however you need it to be. Yeah.
So more of that. Nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, these are leaking like crazy. I mean, do you think we'll hear about the Switch 2 this year?
I think Nintendo will start talking about it. I don't know if we see it, but we'll hear about it in an official capacity.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if we have a
full reveal.
A full reveal this fall. I feel like they save that for Q1 next year.
Sure.
Because it makes no sense to start talking a big talk from a Nintendo from how Nintendo does shit. It doesn't make any sense this year to announce something that's not going to come out for Christmas. So
because you're going to damage your current Switch's sales. I mean, you're going to buy that Mario Kart bundle.
It's already it's already on a thin line. Like you really don't have anything this year. Why burn that candle to its complete end? By just announcing the Switch 2 and everyone saying like, well,
I'll wait
and I'll be able to play this on the Switch 2, because like we always take for granted the fact that we are all just terminally online and sort of run into the game sphere. Like I talk to people all the time about the Switch 2 and they're like, are they making another one? Or like there's to them there's not even rumors about the new Switch, what it's going to be, what it's going to look at, when it's coming out. Like you just say, well, I mean, we are at the end of like, you tell people about the PlayStation 5 and explain to them that came out in 2020 and it's 2024. It's starting to go into its downward slope now.
Yeah,
like, but I just bought one, and they're like, I'm like, I know. They don't understand they don't care. It doesn't mean anything to them about like lifespans and 5 years kind of being the thing. Like it's just
they don't understand. This year we'll probably get that PS5 Pro and whatever that next Xbox, right? That all digital Xbox.
Yeah, the all digital One X. Yeah. Or not
One
X, but Series X.
Yeah, exactly. Series S, X, XE. No,
Series.
And then just a last little bit of news. I thought maybe more for JJ and I than anybody else will appreciate this, and that is JackBox is getting a naughty pad.
I just like that they get to do it. Like, I don't care, because to me, it's more fun being filthy in the constraints of something that's not filthy.
Yep.
As opposed to, it's way funnier to be filthy in a game of apples to apples, as opposed to being filthy in a game of Cards Against Humanity.
Yes.
It's way funnier. Like when you have
surprise.
Yeah, like when the game itself is like, it's like, you know, the prompt is fucked in the blank or something. Who cares? No, I need to be. This game is it's so much funnier playing Jackbox and making something filthy when that's not the
our
heart of the game.
Holiday stream was. I mean, the t-shirts we made, which I still need to get that t-shirt made. That was a pretty badass t-shirt. But yeah, we need to there's nuance in finding the bad in the in the mediocre or the good, I should say, in the clean, rather than getting the dirty thrown right at you.
Yeah. Like
getting the dirty thrown at you. I'm
gonna that's the title of the show. But a fun idea. I'll be interested to see what the games are, because maybe they are just
there's 3.
There's
gonna be 3 games.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess this is a way for them to do a game without having to do JackBox Party Pack 11. They can actually take a breather.
They always, because when I interviewed them, and I think you could find that still on there, when I interviewed them at PAX a couple of years ago. Yeah, I mean, they say their game plan is just they want to have the next Party Pack out by Thanksgiving.
Yep.
That's what they want to do. So maybe having some fun and just making this was probably a side project some guys were doing just to be goofy dipshits, and it's snowballed. When is it coming out? Is it
it says it's just this fall, this year.
So this probably that'd be weird if that's their, but they all like to do, because they did the they used to just put out individuals, they used to have Fibbage standalone, or they put out the best of pack where they just kind of mashed some stuff together and stuff, like stopgap games. So I'll be interested to see what the games are, how they play. I'm not necessarily interested in buying and playing this one. I don't think you'll see this one on our SideQuest and Christmas party, but I guess but I mean, maybe if the games, because are they going to be their pre-existing games? Because there's one thing, if you scroll down a little bit into the into the press release, there you go, because it says it's full of spicy surprises and maybe even some familiar faces, which I don't know what they're implying there, because
drawing dirty t-shirts. Surprise, it's a penis. That's basically the I mean,
so I wonder what familiar faces means. Does it mean that they're bringing back some of the characters from some of the other games, or is this going to have some sort of FMV bullshit going on in it? God,
that'd be amazing.
It's you could have some fun with some industry guys. Could you imagine JackBox partnering with Mega 64?
Oh geez, that would be pretty cool. Actually.
And doing some fucked up shit with that.
Yep. Well, that's it for news. We have been playing some games. I'm gonna go over mine real quick, and then I'm gonna let you kind of take over. It's gonna be a nice short episode, maybe depending on what you go.
Trust me, it will be. I don't have.
All right, cool. Yeah, I've been playing Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and God, the more I play that game, because I picked it up I think in tail end of February on sale. That game went on sale real quick. Picked it up for $25 or something, $26, a little over a month ago. Is that when February was? I don't even know anymore. And that game's great. Just really fluid motion. Great. I played the demo and really enjoyed the demo. And then just getting it full time is the full game. It's really fun. It's I'm only 3 hours in. I think the game's 14 or 15 hours long total, but it's a banger. It's just great controls, great animation. It was weird seeing the animation in the when the game was announced way back last year, right? And everyone's like, "Oh boy, here we go." This looks mad. And then you play it.
I played it at PAX West, and it didn't click with me at PAX West. There was something felt it was its first showing to where people could get hands on. So it was probably just an old demo. When the new demo came out and the full game, I was like, "Oh, this functionally feels different." They tightened up the platforming, because that was sort of my problem. It's this platforming feels, and that's the most important part of any Prince of Persia game, is the platforming. It's the entire franchise is built off of unique platforming elements. So,
excellent.
So I'm glad that they turned it, they tightened it and fixed it, and just ended up releasing a good side-scrolling Prince of Persia game again. That franchise,
Jordan Mechner finally redeemed.
I don't even know if he was involved with this one. He never said anything about it. He hasn't talked anything about it. So I don't know if I think he would. I think he would like it. I don't know.
I think he might. Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff they're doing in this game. But let's move on to what you've been playing. I'm going to start with a game that's initially I didn't know what this game was. I thought it was completely brand new, but I don't know if it actually is brand new. It apparently it's sort of a remake or a port or something, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade: Wrath of the Mutants. Tell me about it.
So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Wrath of the Mutants. It's an arcade game that came out in 2017. So based on TMNT 2012, which is as far as I'm concerned, probably in terms of television, the best incarnation of the Turtles, I think. I really enjoyed 2012 a lot.
Okay.
So Raw Thrills is a company that's still out there making these sort of big budget arcade games for the modern age. They did that Cruisin' Blast game for Nintendo.
They're the ones behind this.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So that Cruisin' Blast game rules. I love Cruisin' Blast. It's one of those things because this is also published by GameMill, which is GameMill has been around for decades at this point, and it's more garbage than greatness because like GameMill is the company responsible for publishing Big Rig's over the road truck racing game that is considered one of the worst video games of all time. But at the same time, they published for home consoles because they also like to just scoop up licensing now. That's sort of their thing. They're sort of a modern day THQ in that way. Or LJN is probably more likely.
Remember,
Raw Thrills made this game and released it to arcades in 2017, which nobody played it because like arcades, like how often do you visit a Dave and Buster's? Like I'm lucky enough, I have a pretty decent arcade near me that got this game, so I got to play this game when it was still brand new in arcades. And so in order to get to my full feelings about this game, we got to kind of go back even further to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles original arcade game, because this game is kind of a remake of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles original arcade game. Ninja Turtles came out at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in overall came out at the perfect time. It came out like it reached its peak in the mid 80s when video games were also kind of peaking. So like Transformers didn't really luck out that way. They kind of came to prominence during like, the crash of video games, early 80s. But by the time Ninja Turtles, like when Ninja Turtles started, there was no expectations for merch because it was just a edgy indie comic book. Things like Transformers and stuff was created with the idea of merch behind it. So when Ninja Turtles becomes a child's property packed with merch, like it came out with 2 video games in the same year. One of them the NES game, and then the arcade game. They came out in the same year. The arcade game is I still to this day probably
so great. Yeah,
so great. It's great to go back to, and there's nostalgia glasses that go with that.
Yeah.
But that's the advantage that Ninja Turtles arcade game has. Like you can re-release it in those packages or an Xbox Live Arcade. You completely ruin a lot of the gaming experience with it because you take away the sort of credits system. You just push a button and you put a new quarter in, as opposed to actually paying physical money to play the game. So you can burn through it, but at the same time, you and I have a nostalgia for it.
Yeah.
It's not about beating the game. It's about playing the game. It's about remembering the fucking bowling alley that you played it in or whatever, or the arcade or the pizza parlor or whatever. So when you get to play that again, you have that thing. This game suffers from all of the problems that playing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game has today, but with zero of the nostalgia factor because this was an arcade game that nobody really played.
Sure.
It came out at
yeah.
a bad time. It came out at the time where there was no arcades, and there still are no
Yep.
arcades. But like, so you have to play this as a brand new game, but you strip away all of what makes an arcade game hard, which is money. So these games only take an hour to beat. Like I got this code, I downloaded the game, I had beat it from start to finish within 1 hour.
It was funny because I had we got the code from the
Yeah.
PR rep, and
Yeah.
I sent it over to you, and I thanked him, for
Yeah.
sending us the code,
Yeah.
and then he replied back a little bit later in the afternoon. He said, "Yeah, no problem. Let us know when the review goes live." And I
Mhm.
said, "Oh, by the way, JJ has already beaten it."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was
I
like
mean,
later that afternoon.
yeah. I mean, luckily, like even if you play it on the harder difficulties,
Sure.
there's you still get to continue ad nauseum. I
Yeah.
mean, they have ways to, make it harder for yourself, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, yeah, I'm not going to say it's bad. I like this game. I
Sure.
really do like this game. It plays well. It plays exactly like the original Ninja Turtles arcade game. It has all of the same exact kind of levels.
Yeah.
Like it has all of the same
They all
gimmicks.
scroll
Like
the same.
they
Okay,
all
same
scroll
gimmicks.
the same. You
All right.
have a surfing level, you have a skateboarding level. It has the stuff where you can pick up weapons and throw
What are
them.
you playing this on, by the way?
PS5.
Okay, so yeah, which one?
It has like you remember in the Turtles arcade game where you could hit a fire hydrant
Yep.
and it would shoot the cap off, and you can use that as a
Yeah.
that happens in this game. It's like
Okay.
everything's there that you'd expect.
There it is,
from
the
the
fire hydrant. Yeah.
it plays. It's clearly what if the Ninja Turtles. What if they made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012, and that's what they did. Everything's kind of the same. Now, this version of it is not the same as the arcade version. This is not a direct port. They added 3 levels and 6 bosses to this.
Okay. All right.
So because the original game was very short, it was like 3 levels. So it's like a total of like 6 levels now.
So it went from being like a half-hour game to an hour-long game.
Okay. Yeah. So and they added more VO. It's got the original voice cast, so it's got like Sean Astin is in it and stuff.
Wow!
So,
amazing. Okay.
Yeah. So you have the original voice cast. It's even got Gilbert Gottfried in it as Krang Prime, which is like it has to be the last thing he ever did.
Yeah, the last thing he did. Yeah.
But yeah, and they added many more bosses. Like I said, they added 6 bosses total of this game. But there's not a lot of like variation with the bosses. Like it all feels like the fights are exactly the same, which sucks. But like they are just kind of bonuses, anyways, in its own little sense. But like, yeah, it's such a weird package because I really do like it, but I also like don't like this being somebody's first experience. Is this really short? I don't like to bring up price, but like $30 for like it would cost you $30 to beat this game in the arcade. No, because this was like a $1 arcade game.
Oh yeah, back at that right time. Yep.
Yeah, and it's brutally hard. Like it is brutally hard, but you don't notice it when don't have to worry about the money aspect. When you're having to pay money, you are super focused on not dying because you want your dollar to go as far as you can. So like, yeah, this game is very hard because it needs to be. It's an arcade game especially from 2017. Sure. To their credit, and this is one thing I'll also say, the stuff that they added, you would never be able to tell they added. They blended it all really, really well.
Okay.
Like even like new voice lines and stuff. Like you cannot tell which ones were from like 7 years ago and which ones are from like last year that they would have recorded in the studio or whatever. So they did a really good job at making this game. It's a good package. I like the aesthetic, but like, how nostalgic are you for Ninja Turtles and how nostalgic are you for these kinds of arcade games? You won't have that level of nostalgia like getting Turtles in Time on like Xbox Live Arcade or something, which or whatever. So because like this game 10 years ago, 15 years ago, about 15 years ago, would have been an Xbox Live Arcade game. I mean, let's just be honest let's just be honest with ourselves here. And I'm not saying this to like say like they have no right charging $30. I'm just saying like this isn't this is something that would have been like $15-$20, probably $20, like, and that's fine as an Xbox Live Arcade small little downloadable thing. So it's a good game. I like it.
Yep.
I don't know if I necessarily recommend it. Like, you have to be a Turtles diehard like you or I to really get it.
You have to have plowed through all of the Turtles collections and games.
Yeah, did you beat Shredder's Revenge, and did you beat the Cowabunga collection? Then like yeah, this is for you. You will enjoy it if you beat every single game in the Cowabunga collection. This game is for you. You will enjoy this game. If you
doesn't look so, is it like, are there issues at all? Is it competent? Is there
I didn't have
okay.
Yeah, I didn't have any. There was no crashes. There was no freezes. There was no weird, like, the physics felt bad here or whatever. I think it's a little floatier than you kind of want from like a Ninja Turtles arcade game. It doesn't feel like it has the same level of weight, if you know what I mean. Like, the turtles don't feel heavy, and that's probably my biggest gripe with this. But it's also an arcade game that's it's trying to be fast, because like that Turtles TMNT 12 was a much faster paced cartoon than the 80s show or whatever, or like the live action movies or whatever. So like they go hand in hand with one another. Like, they wanted this game to move faster because this generation of Turtles moved faster. So
awesome. Okay. And you've been playing another game that may be somewhat old but has been brought back.
Yeah, this one's weird. I don't have a lot to say about this one, because when you see what the title of this is, you kind of already know exactly everything you're going to get out of this game.
We played this at PAX East.
Yeah. Rose and Camellia. It's a compilation of Flash games where you're Victorian women slapping each other.
It's literally just slapping. It's so
slap fighting. It's Punch Out. But
it is
slaps.
Punch Out. Yeah.
Like, this is a Flash game from like 2007. Yeah. And it kind of became a thing. It spawned a bunch of other sequels. It ended up eventually becoming an iOS title. And now Way Forward and Limited Run got together, compiled it into one package with all of the games, and sort of updated it with some like an opening theme song and stuff, like animated up this game. And it's Downton Abbey slap fight. It's like you're sort of vying for control of this family and stuff. It's goofy, but it's fun as hell to play.
Perfect for Bridgerton. I played this at PAX East. Back in March. You
stood behind you during it.
Yeah. And it's really simple. It's literally like swing to slap. That's it. And then you can like swing the other way, basically to block.
It is. It's got like so it's like, it's also turn-based, which is super funny, because it's like a duel. You're dueling. It's like, you take off your glove and now we're going to slap each other. And the motion controls are more fun. So it's like, okay, slap, and everyone puts their all.
Are you playing this on Switch?
Yeah, I think it's the only way it's out. I don't think there's no other version of this. It's only a Switch game. But yeah, you don't have to like fucking wing the controller. It's just like a little and you do the slap, and then like the more like direct hit, the more damage it'll do. And then they go for their slap, and you got to figure out their tell, so you know when to whip the controller back the other direction, so you dodge out of the way, and then you can go in for a counter slap. And then like if you get them into like a certain state, you can grab them by the collar and just slap the shit out of them for like a few seconds.
And they get crazy too, because it's not just like regular humans. Like, they get spiritual madness in this bad boy.
Yeah, there's some, because you had like the arts. You had like the one super like crazed woman, and like the one beefcake maid woman with one giant arm. One of the characters in one of the later collect like sequels is like, you're starting to fight women, like slap fight women from around the world. It's like like a Japanese maid, or it shows up in this trailer. It's there's
right there.
You get the Apollo Creed Indian woman and stuff. It's And you can also play it with touchscreen, which is kind of cool, where you just swipe because it's
Oh,
just
that's a cool idea. Yeah,
yeah.
That would
So
be
you
fun.
just swipe with your finger, like swipe that way for slap, swipe that way for dodge, and when you do like the mega slap, you just like it like Fruit Ninja on the screen and stuff. It's silly, it's fun. I like it. It's well worth just sort of like it. Chances are a lot of the people I haven't experienced like the Flash game, so um this is the kind of silly bullshit that I like. Like this is just somebody had an idea. They saw a Victorian era drama and just and
They
just
thought,
went.
you know what if? And I know how to make a mechanic, or maybe they
I
were
know.
learning to make this stuff in Flash.
They were learning they were learning Flash
And
back
now
when
it's on an Unreal 5. No.
This run it has ray tracing on the
Mocap,
finger.
mocap, Moslap.
Moslap. They brought in some of the most talented MMA fighters in the world and put a mocap glove on all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Conor McGregor in here. Awesome. That's cool. I mean, it was silly when I played it. I'm glad it still looks silly.
It's still silly. Yeah,
it's the like, kind of game like I wouldn't necessarily look for it, but it looks like the kind of game that it's on sale.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those like put it on your wish list.
Yeah, put on your wish list.
Have them send you an email every couple of months saying like, here's the list of games that are on sale this month, and you'll see it and you'll be like, you know what? I got some gold coins to spend here.
Yep.
And I don't know, like Way Forward is so weird because it's such a hit or a miss, man.
Hot off the heels of Operation Galuga.
Yeah. I like that game is.
We'll talk about that maybe next week.
I got some opinions on that. But
okay. Rose and Camellia. Anything else you've been playing?
Lunar Lander.
Oh yeah, Lunar Lander.
Lunar Lander Beyond, I think it's called, right?
Yeah, you got a bunch of games here.
And they won't even have time to talk about Stellar Blade.
We'll have them. Let's see. Gameplay. Let me get this gameplay trailer.
Yeah, so we're in that. This is another one of those Atari esque. What if we take this franchise that is nothing and try to make it something? Like they were doing that with all of those recharged games and stuff. For anyone who's never played Lunar Lander, what you see on the screen now of just little vector graphics of you landing on a lunar lander, like an Apollo spacecraft on varying difficulties of flat surfaces on a planet. Not much has changed in this game except that they've wrapped a story in it, and there's collectibles and like you can upgrades and there's characters and stuff, but at the end of the day the core is still the same of you taking your spaceship and landing it. Like, it's not like there's combat or anything. I mean, I like Lunar Lander. It's a great little this game feels like it was made by what were those PlayStation games that they used to it's gonna kill me.
The Housemarque games or
no. Just put out a new one recently that was like Scrapper or something.
Pixel Junk.
Pixel Junk, or like one of those, like, because there was like, was it Pixel Junk or something? I forget, but there was a series of just like this style of game, and it feels like from that PlayStation 3 era of this. Like it looks really good. Like Lunar Lander shouldn't look like this. It's got cool skyboxes. Like it's usually just a static image, but it's always like telling a weird story. Like a lot of times you'll see like that destroyed planet behind you, like as you can see in this shot or whatever, like a destroyed planetscape behind you or whatever. It's like
there's a lot of story in this too, right?
There's a lot of story in it, and it has more puzzles. Like you're doing it's like a Pixel Junk. Those are the games I'm thinking of.
That's what I said. Pixel Junk.
Yeah, the Pixel Junk shooter. That was the one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Where they were a lot like this, where like it's a lot of using your thrusters to traverse around locations and just not get killed. It kind of like, Lunar Lander didn't really go that far. It just really was like, okay, now land, you get 100 points if you land on this one, but you get 500 points if you land on this really small one, and you get 700 points if you land on this very small one that's on the edge of a
pink
cliff.
Elephants.
Yeah. So yeah, this has a lot of the same, like, it's an arcade game at heart. So it's really just kind of designed for you to just kind of sit there, pump out a few of the levels, and then go about your day and come back later, maybe. I don't know who this is for. Like, I really don't. I like it, but I would never have seeked this out. I never would have, like, oh, cool, a new Lunar Lander. I can't wait to play that.
Sure.
Because it's not Lunar Lander at the same time. Like, it is, but it isn't. Like, this is an all new experience.
These Atari games are either just remaking the original game with a completely
a fucking killer aesthetic,
or
soundtrack,
to make it completely different.
Yeah, or make a completely new game.
Neo Sprint, and then what's the Yars Rising? Like this,
that Yars game that they just announced, which, like, I don't know what they're doing with that Yars game. That looks like a cool game, but it's not Yars. Like, it's like
so Lunar Lander is out on everything, I think, right?
Yeah,
it certainly looks like a game like that's out on their Atari console.
Yeah, I'm pretty. This had to have been on the VC. I have to assume this was put out on the VCS.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's as I have made sure to make it the official word of side questing. It's a perfectly cromulent game.
Perfectly cromulent game.
Yeah.
JJ, thank you for giving us your input on some fantastic games that you've been playing.
Nothing from the 2020s. Like,
exactly. Thank you for playing all these old games. Actually, they are. TMNT Rose, Lunar Lander, Prince of Persia. I was playing. No, that's a new game. And thank you for joining me this wonderful evening. I hope the weather's not super gray anymore. I'm sure it will be for the next.
One came out for a couple of hours.
All right. It's Golden Week in Japan, which is why you're not seeing a lot of actual news from Japanese companies, unless you're Square Enix and you're downplaying.
Or everything. Inexplicably, Evo Japan is this week.
Is it this week? Okay, wow.
Yeah, it just like I think it's over now, but like it was this weekend or whatever. But like stuff came out of that, like Akuma and Street Fighter.
It's true.
Akuma that was
cool trailer. Cool trailer. You can find us sidequesting.com in the Discord. Just click around the Discord.
Yeah.
That's where we hang out. SideQuesting TV on YouTube and Twitch. Apparently, I did have SideQuesting on YouTube. Well, it's linked under my old account. So I forgot if I need it.
Too late for that now.
You can find us at Dolly Domofsky at _double_J if you're looking for us in places. With that said, we'll see you on the next episode of
The Side Quest.
Bye, everybody. Toodles.